Hey y'all, so let's just have a little bit of a hip-hop conversation right now. So you know how recently we've been hearing a lot of conversation about Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick possibly retiring in the next few years. J. Cole said that after the fallout, he's most likely going to be retiring. He has a family now and he's going to go spend time with them. And, he's done what he came here to do. And so basically that's it. For Kendrick, they're saying that because in a lot of his songs on his most recent project, he was talking about like living, choosing himself and living a simple life and kind of not doing this whole thing anymore. With Drake, I don't really believe that he's going to retire anytime soon or ever because it's Drake, but he could because he's been talking about having like a graceful exit recently. And so, yeah, let's just talk about that. So to start off, we have Drake, who we all know as Aubrey Graham. He started off on Degrassi, then he started making music. He came out with his mixtape in 2008, then he started doing his own project, his first big commercial project in the early 2010s. Then you have J. Cole, and he was in college, and then he got hooked up with Jay-Z, and he had all these mixtapes that he put out, and then he put out his first project in the early 2010s. Then you have Kendrick, and he put out his first project in the early 2010s, and they've just been a force in the music industry in general and hip-hop for the last over 10 years, like more than 10 years, and it's gonna be really sad when they go. Out of the three of them, J. Cole is my favorite. He's one of my favorite hip-hop artists of the 2010s and like the newer generation, quote unquote. Drake, I like Drake. I like a lot of Drake's early projects and early songs. Not the biggest Drake fan at the moment. I haven't really listened to a lot of his projects in recent years. I have heard singles that I've liked, but full projects, not so much. Kendrick, I do really like Kendrick. To Pimp a Butterfly is probably my favorite project from Kendrick, but Kendrick always be spitting hard, heavy, every time. And it's just gonna be really sad when they leave, because for a lot of a whole generation, especially Gen Z, they grew up on these artists, right? They were like the big three in the industry in hip hop for an entire generation. And it's gonna be really sad when they go. And I'm really gonna miss J. Cole and Kendrick specifically. Like I said, I don't really think Drake is gonna retire like he says. He might take a few years off. He might take, some time off, but I doubt he's really gonna ever retire. He's probably gonna do a Jay-Z and say he's gonna retire and then not actually ever retire because it's Drake, let's be honest. And even if he doesn't do hip-hop necessarily, he'll always infuse hip-hop in his music. But if he does other kinds of music, because Drake just be a chameleon, always doing other kinds of music anyways, then that's what he'll do. Or he'll go into movies and things like that. But I never see, Drake specifically ever really leaving the industry. I just don't see that as a Drake type of thing for some reason. And then Kendrick and J. Cole, I can see them leaving. I can honestly see them leaving. Kendrick and J. Cole are more the type that aren't really into, social media or being in the media that much. They come out when they're doing their projects, they'll do the interviews they need to do, and then they dip and they go back and they are with their family and they're living their best lives. And I really commend them for that because they deserve it. They honestly deserve it. They put in their work. They have put in their work. They have proven themselves, and they are more than deserving of just living their quiet lives with their families. And I love that for them. As sad as it'll be to see them go, I'll be really happy that they're living their best lives with their families. Now, what do I want to see before they actually leave? So I don't know when they're actually going to leave. For J. Cole, it's a lot more put out there that, after the fallout, it's over. And so up to that point, here's what I would like to see. So like we all know, there was supposed to be this J. Cole and Kendrick project that never really came out. They gave us a couple songs here and there, but there was never the full project that we were promised. And so I would like to see this full project from Kendrick and Cole. I need them to be on a project together, a full project, just hip hop, just all the vibes. I want it. I want it. It would be really, really dope. And I don't want a whole project of this, but it'd be cool if they just did one song together of all three of these guys. Like Kendrick, Cole, and Drake did like one song together, just as like the three that were like the big artist of a whole generation. You know what I mean? That'd be so dope. That'd be so cool. And like Drake would have to actually like do his like rapping, because when he's actually rapping, he's good. So he'd have to do it to keep up. So yeah, but that would be dope. I'd also kind of like to see, maybe not a full project, I don't know. I know they've done songs together obviously before, but it'd be really cool if J. Cole and Drake did a project together maybe, or more songs together before it's all over, because, you know, they're friends, they're cool, and it'd be really dope to see them do music together again, because, you know, we've had songs in the past with them, and, you know, Drake is going to be at Dreamville Fest, so yeah, that'd be really, really dope. And yeah, I'm just gonna be really sad that they're leaving when they do eventually leave. I don't know the timeline of Kendrick or Drake of this eventual retirement, but J. Cole's is coming really soon, and every time I think about it, that there's only like a couple projects left and then it's over, it makes me really sad, because he was one of my favorite hip-hop artists of the 2010s, and I got into him around 2011, like right before his debut album, and I listened to his mixtapes, and they were so good. Like, J. Cole's storytelling is one of my favorite things about him. Like, I live for the storytelling. And 2014 Forest Hills Drive is my favorite J. Cole project ever. And it really just touched my heart, because of that whole project being the central theme of the project, being about, you know, love, being about, you know, how this glitz and glamour thing of Hollywood is not as important as who's there for you in the beginning. You know, just because somebody else is rich and famous doesn't mean they're living a better life than you in poverty. You know, like, that whole thing, that whole vibe of that album really, really touched me. With Kendrick, you know, he put out To Pimp a Butterfly, and I listened to that full project, and that's my favorite Kendrick project of all time. I really do love that project with my whole heart. And then with Drake, like I said, not all of his projects are my favorite, and actually I don't like a lot of them, but Take Care is probably my favorite Drake album, because it mixes hip-hop and R&B so seamlessly, and he does everything on that album so good that it just feels like his combo of hip-hop and R&B just fits so well in that project. And the features are good, and just like everything about it is just really, really good. It's like, it's just there for me. So I really like that project. But what do you guys think about the retirement of the big three? And who do you think will like come and not necessarily replace them, but like be the new big three, or be the new big whatever, and be the next generation's, you know, Kendrick, Drake, and Cole? And what are your favorite projects from them? And are you as sad as me to see them go? Because, you know, I got a lot of memories with the three of them and their music, and they just bring me a lot of joy. And not all of their projects are my favorite. Well, Cole's, because I love him. But not all of their projects are my favorite, but I do like a good amount of music from them. And it'll really be sad for them to go. So leave all your comments and things in the comment section, and let's have a hip-hop discussion.